Quick Start Product Listing. In this lesson you're going to learn how to set up a basic listing for your product and also why we do this now. The reason we are doing this is to create a listing for our product, and we need to create our listing so we receive our FNSKU. This is the way that Amazon identifies a product as unique to a particular seller. In other words, you. We need the FNSKU for shipping and potentially for our packaging too. But there are more reasons. Adding your product now will trigger any hazmat review that your product may incur. Now, this is nothing to worry about, but it is better to trigger this now before your inventory is on the way. It also checks for any potential gated category or product restriction. Now, this is going to be a very basic listing. We will optimize a listing fully later in the course before the product goes live. We literally want to add the minimum information required to have our listing created. And there is no need to upgrade from individual to professional yet if you don't wish to. But you will need to upgrade to professional before your inventory arrives at Amazon. And lastly, we will also check on a couple of critical settings for our account. Okay, so I've logged into Seller Central and we're going to go and complete our quick product listing. To do that, all you need to do is put your mouse cursor over inventory and select add a product. Now the page will differ. Amazon do change these pages around a lot, but what you're looking for is list a new product. And then you'll see a search bar. We don't use that. And basically underneath you see if it is not in Amazon's catalog, create a new product listing, and that's what we're looking for. Create a new product listing. Once you click on it, it's going to ask you to find your category. You can either put your keyword in for your product in the search, or you can navigate yourself. So I'm just going to use silicon spatula for this example. Obviously that's not a product we recommend you go after. So I've typed in silicon spatula set, then I'm just going to click on find category. And there's actually a subcategory straight away for our product. Now what you will find is if you type in something else. So let me try iPhone 7 case. And you see it gives you a lot of different categories to choose from, and you can either find the correct subcategory on the right, or you can actually choose one of the broader categories. So for instance, I could choose cell phones and accessories, click on it, and it narrows down the list for us. And then it's giving us 9 possible choices. So we would just pick the one that was most relevant. But I'm going to go back and use the silicon spatula set, find category. Once you find the subcategory you need, you just click on it. And it's actually brought me to the listing page. Now we basically want to fill in every item that's got a red asterisk next to it. And there's going to be a couple of other things we fill in, but it's really easy to find because you'll notice all these tabs up at the top. You'll see a warning sign, which means you've got to fill something in. So for the product name, we need to fill that in first. So I just put in Charter Kitchen. I don't know if you remember from the branding lesson, that's one of the options I found. And no, I haven't chosen that as a brand name, but I'm using it in this example as a brand name. So I've put Charter Kitchen silicon spatula set with free whisk. Just a really simple title. You can even make it shorter than this. We will be coming back later to optimize our title and our images and everything else. This is just about getting our listing up on Amazon. Now it's not asking me for the manufacturer and brand name. However, depending on your category, it might ask you. And also depending on your category, you might see more things here. So I'm actually going to fill it in, and don't panic too much. You can always come back and change this later. So I've got as far as putting in my brand name. Now product ID, this is actually going to be a UPC. If you remember, we talked about that and about GS1 in the previous lesson, and it's showing me right now that I don't need to fill it in. Now I know for a fact I am going to have to fill it in, but there are a couple of categories where you don't. But I can virtually guarantee that the product you're going to add, you are going to add that ID, but we can leave it for now and see if Amazon asks us to fill it in. I'm going to skip over variations. I'm going to go to offer. Now the seller SKU, Amazon will automatically create this for you if you wish, but I recommend you do it yourself. So I'm going to put the brand name, CK, what the product is, silicon spatula. I could put another S for set if I wanted to, and then a dash, and then a number. And basically that's a unique identifier for this product that Amazon require you to have. And as I say, if you leave it blank, they will actually create it for you. Condition, always new. We're never going to be selling refurbished or anything else along those lines. I'm going to put the price in, and if you watch, as soon as it accepts my price, I'm getting a warning message on Vital Info, and that's going to be my UPC code. But just before we go back there, the fulfillment channel. This is critically important. You want to choose, I want Amazon to ship and provide customer service for my items if they sell. If you choose the other one, it's merchant fulfilled, which means you fulfill it. We use FBA, so you must make sure you select I want Amazon to ship. It's critically important. Now we filled everything in this tab, but we're going to go back to the vital info because it's asking us for the product ID, and there you go. So you want to select UPC, and I'm using a UPC code from Nationwide. I'm going to paste it in. It's accepted it. So far we're doing great. Now we went through offer images. If you've got an image of your product already, upload it. If not, do not bother. It's not critically important. The description, you're going to see all about this when we set up our full listing. It's nothing we need to worry about now. Keywords exactly the same. We're going to get back to this. But under more details, you can see I've got shipping weight. Now, depending on your product type, you're going to see more information. With most products you list on here, you're going to have shipping weight, but you're also going to have shipping product dimensions and product weight. So I've just been put in 0.5 fabric type. I'm going to leave alone. But I am going to show you another product in a second, just so I can show you that for a lot of products, you will get a lot more information and more details, and the critical one you need to fill in. And I'm pretty sure a spatula doesn't weigh half a pound, but I'm not really that bothered. So we filled everything in we need to fill in, and we're just going to click on Save and Finish. And you're going to get this message. Your listing is being created. The process may take up to 30 minutes. Please check back and change your listing to Fulfilled by Amazon at that time. So if it doesn't automatically create this as FBA, we're going to change it. But don't worry too much about that. I'll cover it in a second. So it tells you how to do it. On the Manage Inventory page, select your product, select Change to Fulfilled by Amazon from the Action on Selected drop-down menu. But I will show you that. But I'm just going to click on Continue. Now I've covered up the one below because it's actually an existing product. And even though it's an example, I don't particularly want it shown. Now what you're going to notice straight away is under the Available, it's got a box for you to put in. That's a real simple telltale sign that this listing is FBM. In other words, Fulfilled by Merchant. And we want to change it to Fulfilled by Amazon. To do that, we're going to click on the arrows to the right of the Edit button, and we're going to click on Change to Fulfilled by Amazon. Now you can read all the information up here, but you can see it here, Merchant SKU. So there we go, the CKSS0001, got the title, currently Fulfilled by Merchant, so we're changing that. Now this, the barcode type, this is critically important. You must make sure that Amazon barcode is selected here. If it says manufacturer barcode, you need to change it to Amazon barcode. Now it should be Amazon barcode by default, but always double check, triple check that it says Amazon barcode. Now we're not sending inventory right now, so all we need to do after we've checked that Amazon barcode is there, can you tell it is really important? You just need to click on Convert Only. The second one, we're not sending inventory, so just click on Convert Only. And now you'll see the difference. So everything looks the same, except under Available, you can see it's now blue. In other words, we can't change that. And that's because it's Fulfilled by Amazon, which means we need to send them inventory for this to appear. And you can always triple check by clicking on the arrows to the right of Edit. And if it says Change to Fulfilled by Merchant, it means we're okay. We don't need to change it. We're as FBA. And that's how we set up our basic listing. Now, I said I was going to show you an example of the dimensions option, and I can actually show you without beginning to start another product because it's actually going to show up now under our spatula. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Edit for my spatula, and then I'm going to go to More Details. This is a kind of weird display, but what we're looking for is product dimensions or package dimensions. Now, depending on what category you're in, it will actually show you different things. So I'm going to scroll down. You can see here we've got item dimensions, but that's just the spatula on its own, which is not what we're looking for. And this is what I'm looking for, the package dimensions. You can see it's got length, height, width. You can select the measurement and the weight. Now you want to make sure you put this in, because if you don't, Amazon, when you make your shipment, will automatically make it oversize until it gets to their warehouses and they actually measure it. And remember, this is the package dimensions. So in other words, it's what Amazon is going to be sending out to a customer when someone buys your product. So I have no idea what the real dimensions are, but I'm just putting in 8 by 2 by 4. I'm going to select inches, and the weight, I'm going to put 0.5 again, although I'm guessing that's half a pound is way too heavy for a spatula. But you want to make sure you put the right measurements in. Now, if you haven't got the exact measurements from your supplier, then don't worry too much about this. What you can do is go and look at the primary product or one of the competing products for your product and have a look at their package dimensions and just come in and fill them in. Now again, depending on the category, this might appear when you're actually adding the listing. In other words, when I was going through, putting the offer in, all those kind of things, it could appear then. Or you could get a screen like I got with virtually nothing on it. If that is the case, then go to Edit, come in here and fill in the dimensions. So I have filled in the measurements and I'm going to click Save and Finish. Okay, and as you can see, your updates have been submitted and that's it. And as far as the product listing is concerned, we're actually done. We've got what we need. But there's one other setting I want to show you very quickly. And again, we'll be going through all the settings when we set up the full listing. But if we go up to settings up here, and then we click on Fulfillment by Amazon. Now, you might not have this if you're using the individual account and you haven't added a product yet. But it should appear after you add a product. But I'm just going to click on it. And we will go through all these settings when we set up our full listing. But the one thing you always want to check, and that's the reason I'm showing you now, it's another one of these critical things. And Amazon are actually marking it as disabled by default for the most part, so always check it. And it's this repackage unsellable customer returns. And you always want that to be disabled. Because what it means is if a package comes back to Amazon like a refund and they think it's okay, they will repackage it and send it out when you make another sale. The problem with that is quite often they don't do a very good job of it and your customer receives it and thinks it's secondhand or it's already been opened, which it has. So you want it to be disabled. So as I said, we'll be getting into other things later, but we're done. We've done everything we need to do to get our listing up. And I just want to show you one more thing, which is actually if you put your mouse cursor over inventory and then click on manage FBA inventory, it's going to show you this page. You might have been taken directly to this page when you first saved your product when you were going through, and your product might not have been there. And that's because seemingly for the most part by default, when you save a product, it automatically goes to Amazon fulfilled inventory. And if you remember, it actually set my product up initially as fulfilled by merchant, so it wouldn't show up here. So if when you first save your product, it goes to this screen and you see it quite clearly, Amazon fulfilled inventory, and your product's not listed there, then don't panic. All you need to do is go and put your mouse cursor over inventory and then click on manage inventory, and you should see your product there. So what's next? So now you have learned how to create your basic listing. In the next lesson, you are going to learn how to design your product packaging. Your action for this lesson, create your basic listing. But that's it for this lesson. Take care.